Hey, it's Chris Bowling.
Hey, it's Chris Beyer.
Happy Friday, Mr. Byer.
Happy Friday to you. It's a good day to record.
It's a good day to record. So, what is on your mind today?
Well, Chris, you and I have talked a lot about how we got into our career in sales and
Yeah.
how both our fathers were in sales beforehand and we learned from them. But you and I both live in the Midwest and we're working with clients all over the country. But why in the world did we decide to start our careers in the Midwest? I mean, middle of nowhere, Illinois and Iowa. Why would we look at that as a good spot to work from and to find companies to consult with?
Yeah, I almost think the better question is why are we still in the Midwest?
Yeah, that's true. So I know for me, it's, going back, I'm a history buff, so I can track both sides of my family in significantly far back generations to kind of Western Central Illinois. So there's definitely a tie there. But I have realized that there are great companies that exist in the smaller communities that we get to work in.
Yeah.
They've been here for many generations. They've got people that are committed to serving their community. They're not just a company to make a dollar, but they're really committed to giving back to their communities. And I think we found a lot of our clients because they're recognized in their community and they're doing good work. And we know them because we've been in this area for so long. Our family has. There's a lot of good relationships back there. But why do we stay though? I mean, we could work remote and virtually from anywhere. Why do we continue to stay in the Midwest? What's appealing to that is
That's a question I ask myself too often, but
yeah,
I think off the top of my head, I would say obviously family, right?
yeah,
Keeps us here, I don't
agreed.
want to be too far away from our families. And, you know, cost of living in the Midwest is still affordable,
Yes.
Um, I hate traffic. I
Yes.
despise traffic. So, we are constantly on the move, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you and I have been all over this week. You're going to be all over next week. And,
Yes.
the beauty of being able to get, 100 miles in an hour and 15 minutes isn't
Right.
possible when you're in Denver or you're in New York or you're in Dallas. So I think our ability to get beyond our community where we live and to be able to
Hmm.
look at businesses so far out in our communities
Yeah.
or in different states that we can get there in 2 hours, 3 hours. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I agree. I think like you said, it's accessible. And you look at some of the major, communities. I always talk about professional sports. I mean, there's so many professional sports teams in the larger communities within a 5 hour radius of where we sit. And then you've got the population to support companies. And again, this format, being able to be virtual, has allowed us to meet with some employers in other states and not have to travel. But then when we're ready to, it is easy to get there. And I think it's a great spot for us to have as home base as we're continuing to grow our client.
we are very fortunate. Obviously, great place to raise children.
Yeah.
My kids were able to, you know, play outside, go, miles away from our house. I mean, we
Yeah.
were sort of in a country subdivision, and I never worried just because it's the Midwest.
Right. Right.
We
A
might
little
be a
bit
little
different.
partial to that because you and I
Right.
both had that same freedom growing up, and
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure there's other great areas.
There are.
Man,
There are.
you and I just talked about starting a career in sales, and I think once again that's the beauty of the Midwest is that it's still affordable to live, and we know those first few years are a little tight financially, and I do believe that the Midwest gives you the ability to still have a decent apartment or a decent home without spending a fortune. I think it comes back to what we've seen through COVID is that this inflation. I would not want to buy a house in Austin, Texas, which is one of the fastest growing,
Yeah.
cities in the country because your starter house is $800,000. I mean, that's
It's just not,
insane.
it's just not feasible. You're right. And some, it's been great. I think as you and I have traveled for different conferences and different client meetings, other parts of the country to be able to experience those areas and to be able to take trips there, take our family there. But just coming back here makes more sense. I know when our family moved, to Galesburg, our current community, it's been almost 11 years ago. I was familiar with the community because I'd grown up geographically close, but it was so easy to get connected. And I think that's another aspect of it is there were community leaders and business owners and people, within leadership of I guess, the governmental side, that we're just open to new families coming in and trying to get you connected and help you get connected. And I don't know that that exists in some larger cities because it is so hard to get yourself ingrained into the overall community. I think that's the other piece too, is a lot of our communities are smaller, and people are willing to help you make those relationships happen. And if you're able to give back and do something to reciprocate it, it's good for business, it's good for your family, it's good for the community.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you were very welcomed in Galesburg to see a young professional family move into a smaller area. My goodness. I mean, that's and I think that's where we're struggling in the Midwest as well, is that a lot of our younger professionals are moving into bigger communities, and I'm a little worried about some of our small towns that are great communities, to live and to raise a family. There are less and less job opportunities in those smaller communities, and that's something goes back to what you said. We have to figure out how we can support the businesses in these communities to make sure that they're doing everything they can to still be relevant for a younger professional coming, either out of a tech school, in the trades, or college. So,
well, I know we're putting a focus locally on highlighting the ease of transportation. As you said, where I'm at, we're right on a major interstate. We've got Amtrak to and from Chicago multiple times a day. We've got 2 airports that go international within an hour of us. But yet we also in the community have very strong broadband access. And so we have seen a lot of families that have come from larger communities and say, you know what, I can do my job working remotely from anywhere in the country. Why not go somewhere where it's easy for me to get out if I need to travel, but it's also easy for me to be at home and work and be connected and not have to pay to live in that larger community. So I think that's an area that's helping the Midwest with a little resurgence, is highlighting the value of being here, and then making sure that people are able to be connected to that other part of the country. Yeah. And it's, you and I are both in different zip codes right now as we speak, and it's working for us to communicate and to do our job. And I think that's another beautiful thing coming out of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, you and I talk multiple times a day. Tell you the truth, we talk more now than we did prior to COVID, right?
I think so. Yeah. The ease of hopping on this or just communicating. So yeah, it was just an interesting topic, as you and I, like you'd said, we've been out this week. We're going to be out next week, visiting new clients, going into those communities that, I've had family in or used to support or go shop in. It's just fun to get back out there and now say, this is an area where we were working with a company that we've known of for 30 years, and they're now a client. And it's, I guess, a testament again to the Midwest. So good to talk through this with you today.
Hey, we again, I'm sure we're partial to the Midwest. People may watch this and think, why in God's green earth would you live in the Midwest? But
yeah, open to questions, open to thoughts back too.
Yeah, no different than they're happy where they live, right? Yeah. I love the family environment, the friendliness of the Midwest, the ease to get around. And yes, I guess if you miss Chicago, like you said, you could jump on a train and you're there in 45 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, just accessible anywhere. So
I love it. Well, good to walk through why we love the Midwest.
It's been good. Thanks for talking, CB.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.